Do we have the extra backup camera? Because I like what you did, and if not, no worries. In the meantime, I think I'm ready. Our teams are ready. Oh, I moved the camera. Sorry. Leo can see. Leo can see. You see, bro? I wave at you. Okay. All my files are downloaded. What I need now is what you sent me, and you say it was sent to me in a text, Jan.
What's his son's name?
What, bro?
His son's name.
No.
We don't tell nobody. Yeah, but
Oh,
you remember? Yeah. Anyways, alrighty. Let's see. I am almost ready. How about you, Jan?
Yeah, I didn't give it the rest of the title except Aloha. So I'll fix that later.
Wait a minute. Can you put
Not
VN?
the second
You can't. So we'll call this one VND2. Hi, sweetie. Good to see you. I'm sorry I don't get up and give you a hug and kiss. Okay, we're live. I'll get it afterwards. Alrighty. Um, I'm ready. Jan, are you?
That's already live.
And we are live. Here we go.
Have you heard? Reading glasses are outdated.
That's funny. Greetings, family. Welcome to another one of your Frank26 UB2Bs. It's good to be with you. We are KTFalways.com. Stands for Keep the Faith Always in Our Heavenly Father. We are a Christian based organization. And before we do anything, we always go to God. We always ask Him for strength. We ask Him for guidance. Will you join me? Abba, Heavenly Father, I come to your throne room because I love you and because I know you love me. Thank you for this day, for another opportunity where I can love someone else and bring them to your kingdom. I thank you for the breath of this day. I thank you for the food of this day. And I ask you for strength in what I'm about to do right now. Guide me and help me to do and say the correct things. In the name of your Son, Jesus, by the Holy Spirit, I pray. Amen, amen, amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's good to be with you. I'd like for you to know that we are in the north area of Oahu. Actually, we are actually more so west side, right? We on the west side. We even got Hawaiians. How do they say it here, bro? How you guys say you from where? The what?
West Side.
The west side, right? You say it like that though. West side. Make sure you put that accent to it. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to study the Iraqi dinar, and everything that I say to you is just strictly my opinion. How do you like my yellow shirt? Hmm? Yeah. Our listening audience just went, what? This is the first time that my friends are here with me. And he looked at me like, you don't get no yellow shirt. What's the matter with him? But the point is that that's my opinion. My opinion can be correct and my opinion can be wrong. We're here to study the Iraqi dinar. Everything I say to you is just strictly my opinion. And what I want to do is I want to start right away by giving you a report from Iraq from Eddie, Mr. Sammy. And here we go. This is going to start at 2 o'clock in the morning. Do we have it there? So at 2 o'clock in the morning, we get our first report. By the way, my intentions are to continue to talk to you about the Vietnamese dong. Got no choice. I've been forced to. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I have to share with you for today. Sir, the Central Bank of Iraq is showing that the CBI just had a day that they have a workshop in it. It is between Erbil and Baghdad, and it is to identify counterfeit currency. And then they say that we have made a water deal with Turkey. Now, you may say, well, so what? Do you remember old timers that I told you, gosh, I would say it was about 7 years ago, that the day will come when I will say to you, That is more powerful. That is more powerful than any of the oil that Iraq has. In fact, that will shine like a diamond one day when we do talk about it. And remember, back then I told you it'll be more powerful than the oil. Mr. Frank, it has just been announced that herbal identified, oh yeah, okay, counterfeit currency. And then they say that we have made a deal with Turkey concerning water. Tell me, Eddie, what deal did you just make with Turkey? Let me see. Oil? Yeah, you did, didn't you? What deal did you just make with Turkey? Let me see. Water? Yeah. The two most powerful things in the Middle East. It's being done for a reason, family. Next report. 3:41 in the morning, 3:41 in the morning, and it says, today we have a parliament spokesman official. He's with the finance department. You know the guy, Mr. Frank, Cougar, the guy Cougar. He just came on our television, Irakia Channel 1, and he said on the news that well, let me clean this up. He just said to us that he just seen a peak. He just seen a peak at the 25 budget. Okay, so Cougar, finance guy that talks, you know, not necessarily on behalf of Sudani, and really not even on behalf of the CBI, But Cougar comes out. Is a spokesman of the finance of Iraq's finances, and he comes out and he says that he has seen a peak at the 2025 budget. And he said, it will be quick. It will be read quickly. And guess what, Iraqi citizens? What? It's got nothing new. It's got nothing major in it. And especially not anything that the citizens want. Sir, he basically is saying that this will be read fast and approved, and nothing will change with the budget. So I want you to know about this, family, because there will be an article that comes out from this stupidity. He says that there's nothing for us, Iraqis. Oh no, they just read billions of things that they're going to do for you, Eddie, and all of a sudden this genius says there ain't nothing in there for you. What do you think the budget is for? For the citizens of Iraq, you lying son of a gun. So I'll tell you what. What else did he say, Eddie? Well, he says that he read, he got a little peek of it, and there's nothing there, and nothing has been approved. He says nothing is going to change with the budget. We're not sure if he really saw it or not, Mister Frank. This guy's full of excrement, or it's just not. He's just not being truthful. he's just not being. He's just not being truthful. We're not stupid. We can tell you very plainly that he's not being truthful, because if he is, Sudani will never be elected in November's election. Remember, he promised us that the dinar was going to be higher than the dollar. Remember, Sudani promised us Iraqi citizens that the Iraqi dinar was going to be higher than the dollar. Well, he, he can't be right. No way. This guy is lying to us, according to what Sudani told us. And all of this, and then the budget means nothing. Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Mr. Frank. This guy is flat out lying. And I bring this up to you, family, because you're going to see it. You'll eventually see the article. So now continuing. Hey, Chalet's on TV. Well, okay, now we talking. I don't want to hear about no cougar that changed his stripes. No, Frank, cougars don't have stripes. I know I said that because I know that somebody's going to criticize me and say, you're wrong. I love it. I love it. 99.99% I bring you with my heart and soul, and someone will find one little tiny little thing and just tear me apart on it. No, you're wrong, Frank. Okay. Well, what about the rest that I said? I don't care. I need to embarrass you. You're wrong. Anyways, Chalet. Okay, now we talking, Eddie. What's Chalet got to say? What when has Chalet gone wrong with you? Well, okay, yeah, at least 90% of the time he's good with you, right? Where's Cougar? Nah, Cougar's a wishy-washy guy. Cougar is like a Republican that doesn't vote for the budget. So Chalet's on TV and he's saying, "Our Renaissance, Renaissance, really, Eddie? Is there a Renaissance at 30? No. Do you know what the word Renaissance means?" He says, "Our Renaissance is tied to the investment activity." And then he said, "A ton of words, Mr. Frank. To be honest with you, we didn't understand anything he said." So Chalet comes up and he says a bunch of things for you. To which I eventually tell him that don't worry about it. Here's what he said. I sent him the report, and now you know what Chalet was trying to tell you. Television, continuing. Television is showing some of the corrupt officials in Kurdistan are saying that the blending, that they're saying that we all agree to Baghdad, um, with the agreement that we've done with the oil. Everything is okay. And he said, just like back in 2014, um, when things were not being truthful. Well, today the television showed that yesterday all parties agreed on this oil deal and everyone is in compliance. However, the corrupt are still trying to break this agreement. Yeah. So I'm here to caution you that when you read the articles that are stupid, just avoid them. Continuing. The television says that this is. I'm surprised that you didn't know this, Eddie. I don't know if you know this, so I'm willing to share it. Television says that even though it's been a decade since we cleared Chapter 7, the United States Federal Reserve still holds our oil reserves, our money, and this affects our economy and our exchange rate. Sidebar. We'll come back to that in a minute. Continuing. EQIQ just invested EQIQ just invested 3 million into Iraq, new digital banking powered by AI. This is on the TV. Apparently, our banking systems are so incredible now that they have brought EQIQ in. Now, television shows the Minister of Transportation saying that they are ready with 1,000 trucks per day to implement TIR. That's good, Eddie. Then the television is showing the agreement between Erbil and Baghdad on TV. They keep talking about this constantly. Yes, Eddie, because that's what's going to bust open the budget piñata. And I pray to God that that's what we see inside that budget is what we all seek. Mr. Frank, there was a section of news yesterday. They said that they're closing all the companies in Kurdistan that deal with forex currency. I don't want to talk about that, but I want to read it again. There was a section of the news yesterday, and they said that they're closing all the companies in Kurdistan that deal with Forex currency. You think about it. Television is showing a old former Kurdistan government official, and he's saying Kurds are and always have played this time game and waiting and doing what's right. Sudani in Baghdad has paid the price over the years for this, but Kurdistan seems to be working hand in hand with Sudani now. And there's only one reason for that, Mr. Frank, an exchange rate. Next report. There's a section on finance TV show explaining there's a section on finance TV show explaining where all the non-oil revenues like port tariffs and border taxes and agriculture go. They explaining where all the money goes now. This is very transparent. Never have they done this to us before, and it's good news. TV news says that the United States of America is telling Iraq they will not accept any indefinite delays in resuming the oil and the Kurds to Turkey. Did you catch that? TV news, and who do you think is saying this? In my opinion, Trump. TV news saying that the United States of America is telling Iraq they will not accept any indefinite delays in resuming the oil and the Kurds to Turkey. And once you resume that, what do you got? HCL. Once you got HCL, what do you got? Yeah. So this is very powerful, in my opinion. Continuing. Oh, and by the way, now at 1 in the afternoon, now it's my turn. And you know me, goes on and on and on forever. So sit back and let's go over all of this. Good morning, gentlemen. So the parliament jerks come out on TV and they tell you that there's nothing new in the budget for the citizens of Iraq. How insulting is that? There is nothing of any value for you Iraqi citizens. Are they crazy? Have they not been listening to Sadani? Well, Eddie, what did you expect? This idiot. Eddie, what did you expect this idiot to say? What a selfish pig. They just don't want to be happy. They just don't want you to be happy. So don't pay attention to Parliament. It's not like I haven't told you a billion times already. Don't pay attention to these selfish pigs. Continuing. Frank, Eddie says that it was that cougar guy. And we're not so concerned with him because he straddles the fence. Half the time he talks good to us, and the other half he talks bad. But when he talks bad, he does it on TV today, saying it contains nothing. And that's why he said this guy is full of kakamuy mala. Continuing, I tell him, I said, gentlemen, the CBI is constantly teaching their citizens on a daily basis what is real currency and what is fake currency. Check this out. In fact, yesterday they used a 50 dinar note, the one that was canceled years ago, in order to teach you Iraqi citizens the idea. And I found it interesting because the 50 note the 50 note doesn't exist in Iraq anymore. Therefore, that is a good example to show a currency that is no longer usable. So they compare it to the counterfeit currency that is not usable in your country. This is a good example for the Arasafrak. Next report. Gentleman, Sudani knows the promise that he made to you. He was supposed to fulfill that promise at the end of last year. It was even a holy, solemn oath, remember, on his behalf. So he knows that if he doesn't give you the purchasing power, he is no longer as the prime minister of Iraq. It's that simple. It's that easy to understand. And trust me, Sudani understands. Continuing. So, Chalet did a word salad today. I guess he's been hanging around Kamala too much. Don't worry, here's the file of what he said. It's good. Mr. Frank, we afraid that nothing is in this budget like Cougar said. Eddie, how many times have I told you not to pay attention to the liars from Parliament? Just like in Baghdad, where Sudani will always have to deal with the cockroaches, the same thing in Kurdistan. But these are not the same cockroaches. They are tiny little peep squeaks. When Parliament talks, when these evil Iranian politicians open their mouths in your country, they sound like they took a big breath of helium. They sound ridiculous. Now, yes, America is still holding on. Yes, America is still holding. Oh, White House release reports. Yes, America is still holding on to your oil because we are protecting it. With all due respect, you should be glad about that. In fact, Executive Order 13303 has something to do with it. It's a good thing, Eddie. It's not a bad thing. You always want us to be there to protect you because there's no army on this planet that can touch the United States of America's army. When they tell you because America is holding on to this oil revenue that's going to hurt your economy, that's so stupid. It's the obvious opposite. Obviously, it's Parliament. Obviously, it's Parliament that's saying that is suggesting such a stupid thing. These same evil pigs tell you it's going to affect your exchange rate of the dinar. Well, of course it is stupid, but in a positive way, it's going to improve it. By the way, EQIQ, that's high technology. You should look that up, family. Claire, I don't even know if we have an article about that right now. But EQIQ family, that's a company. They're freaks. They go into they venture into technology and artificial intelligence. Why in the name of sanctioned currency would EQIQ be wanting to deal with the Iraqi dinar? They don't. I tell them, I said, hey gentlemen, I don't know why Kurdistan is closing the doors to Forex, but I do find it interesting. Please, let's continue to pursue this. By the way, Eddie, let's put Cougar in the same category that we put the Iranian politicians, because half the time he supports you Iraqi citizens, half the time he doesn't. Mr. Frank, Eddie says that Iran has finally. Mr. Frank, Eddie says Iran has finally gone crazy. Is good enough. Um, they have declared holy war on your president and they put a bounty on his head. It's all over our television. The bad Iranian politicians are talking to Iraqis that they want to kill America. We feel bad for this action by Iran. This is wrong. We feel bad because this is wrong. Yeah, you're so right. I said, finally, Eddie, the oil in your country is the blood of this world. That's why my President Trump wants you to hurry up with the oil agreements. And he knows that Kurdistan is ready and Turkey is ready, and so is the HCL. Everything is ready for the new exchange rate. I don't want you to worry about what Iran is saying against America, especially that they want to assassinate President Trump. Eddie, I wish I could tell you some things, but it's not in my position to do so. But Eddie, these so-called Iranian leaders, they have no idea what they're up against. They have no idea that they are listened to. They have no idea they are watched every second of their lives. They have no idea that their lives are in the hands of Donald Trump, not the other way around, like they vomit every day. Eddie, take notice how my President Trump told Israel, don't kill the leader of Iran because we can do it anytime we want. Finally, gentlemen, allow me to say that, in my opinion, President Trump and a handful of people are working with a new. Everything I say is my opinion. Allow me to say that President Trump, in my opinion, and a handful of people are working with the new regime of Iran, but right now it's not the time to talk about this, Eddie. Thank you, Mr. Frank, for your report. Television also said that they're waiting on the United States of America to respond from Soudani's words today in his speech. Did you get that, family? Television, here. So, what is my president? What is your president doing? So, here's what I tell him. I agree with that, gentleman. You see, my president knows that Iraq has a knee jerk reaction to everything. My president knows to hold on and to wait to see what that budget says once it is completely read by Soudani, not some little peak squeak jerk. This little peak, this little peep, this little peak that he, this little peak is is BS. How does he know what the rest of the budget contains? Maybe he saw 1%, 10%. So let's just hold on. Don't pay attention to anything stupid that they talk about. You want to know what the budget says here? So, so that's what I wanted to share with you. And as far as what's going on with the Vietnamese dong, by the way, before we go to the dong, let me also say, look, Sudani knows very well. That's why I told Eddie he knows very well the promise that he made. It's called
Fatwa.
what's it
It's
called?
fatwa.
Fatwa. Did I say it right? It's called a fatwa. And a fatwa is a holy oath. It is a holy promise. Let me let me try to express my team's feelings about this. We know that the parliament and Iranian jerks are going to lie and say there's nothing. Even if the budget comes out at 1310, they're going to say, told you so. So be it. But Sudani knows what he's doing. And you know that he knows what he's doing. He's protecting it. So, no, when Eddie says to me, he's not going to be prime minister in November, Mr. Frank, if he doesn't give us what he promised, purchasing power. No, no, I beg to differ with you, Eddie. What do you mean? You think we're going to vote him in? No, I think he's going to be dead. Eddie was a fatwa. If I gave you a fatwa, I, you know what it means. I'll go to my grave before I break a fatwa. Now, he shouldn't have put no time limit on. He shouldn't put no borders on it, but he did because he was excited. He just want to calm the people. And when January the 1st came, don't you think that he was ready to? All I know is that he's not going to lose his prime ministership because he'll be dead. This is a holy oath. This is a holy promise. This is a fatwa. So, ladies and gentlemen, I say to you, my team say to you, let this ride out. You're going to read these negative articles, just flush them down the toilet where they belong. Let this ride out. Iraq has a tendency to be very reactive. I told Eddie, you guys are very knee jerk reactive. You're very reactive, very quickly. You're very emotional. Eddie, I want you to hold on for 48 hours before you get mad. Let it be read. Uh, This guy says, I got a little peek of the budget. I'm sorry, I call bullshit on that. I'm sorry, I call BS on that. You didn't see Jack. You didn't see you don't even see Jack either, do you? Oh I had to. I had to, Tank. I had to. She is using. Alrighty, family. Now the last thing I want to share with you is the Vietnamese Dawn. Now I don't want to talk about it, but I guess I kind of don't also not want to talk about it. Let's start out first with what happened with Donald Trump and Vietnam. So yesterday I talked to you about Vietnam. And in the whole talk, I forgot. I mean, I assumed you knew. Donald Trump made a major trade deal with Vietnam. What are we going to get for it? Excuse me, Trump, sir. What would you like Vietnam to do with their exchange rate? Excuse me, sir. Did Vietnam ask you about 3 weeks ago that they wanted to talk to you about the exchange rate of their currency? They did, huh? Oh, excuse me, sir. What did you say about Vietnam yesterday? Well, Frank, it is my great honor to announce that I have just made a deal trade with the Socialist Republic of Vietnam after speaking with Tom Lam, the highly respected General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam. It will be a great deal of cooperation between our two countries. The, the terms are that Vietnam will pay the United States a 20% tariff on any and all goods sent into our territory and a 40% tax on any transshipping. In return, Vietnam will do something that they have never done before. I can just hear Trump saying this too, by the way, in his voice. In return, what we get is something Vietnam has never done before. Um, Total access. Iraq, are you listening? We did it. Okay. Total access to the markets for trade. In other words, they will open their markets to the United States of America. In other words, you're going to change your exchange rate because there's no way in the world we're going to do business with you and you take advantage of us. Which means that it will be able to sell our products into Vietnam at zero tariffs. I don't know how he did this. It is, in my opinion, that the SUV, or as it is sometimes referred to, the large engine vehicle, which does so well in the United States, will be a wonderful addition to the various product items within Vietnam. You imagine the Vietnamese people, they come up to here. Can you imagine them in an SUV? Beep, beep. Dealings with General Secretary Tu Lam, which I did personally, was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Well, that's impressive. That's impressive, Donald Trump. All right, so you did that. Okay, what's the next thing that you did? Well, let's see here, Frank. I have a list. A list. Yeah. You can call it, I guess, a list. Yeah. I don't mind doing business with Vietnam, Frank, but I want it under my conditions, under my parameters. You know what I call. I want to call the shots. And here's an example of that. Let's see if I can find it. The currency. Oh dear me. That's about that's about something else. Well, here we go. Today, 142. While the recent U.S. Vietnam trade agreement finalized in June of 25, it doesn't explicitly guarantee a rise in the Vietnamese dong value, but several factors suggest it could create room for application. And by the way, where did this come from? It's on the net.
iTunes, Telegram.
iTeam sent this to us. Okay. We don't know if it's going to affect the value of the dong, but we do know that there are some things that are going to happen. Number one, addressing currency concerns. In a currency agreement that was reached with Vietnam, Vietnam has pledged to refrain from competitive devaluations of the dong and increase the transparency of its monetary policy and exchange rate. Did you catch that? So, Trump, they told you that we're going to go ahead and we will no longer devalue our currency, our dong. We promise, okay. And we're also going to be very transparent. Now, you'll be able to see everything that we do, and also the transparency will be in our monetary policy and our exchange rates. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Trump? This commitment, driven by the U.S. Pressure to address concerns about currency manipulation, aims to facilitate greater exchange rate flexibility and allow the dong to move in line with economic fundamentals. Let me see. If they do this on the 7th, what did I say yesterday, 7th, 8th, 9th? How about on the 9th if we float the dong? Strictly my opinion. Number two, this will cause a reducing of trade imbalance. The U.S. has been urging Vietnam to reduce its reliance on Chinese imports and dismantle barriers for U.S. companies and exports in Vietnam. Vietnam has expressed a willingness to lower the non tariff barriers and increase imports of the U.S. goods. A reduction in Vietnam trade surplus with the U.S., driven by U.S. exports, could potentially lead to a decrease in the demand for the American dollar and an increase in the demand of the Vietnamese dong, continuing to its appreciation, the float. Number three, this action that Trump has just done has the potential for an increase investment and trade. The trade agreement imposed tariffs on Vietnamese exports to the U.S. based on foreign components and grants the U.S. total access to Vietnam's market. And you think we're going to mess with a stupid exchange rate? Total access to Vietnam's markets, potentially reshaping supply chains, and investment opportunities. Increased trade and investment in Vietnam could boast the demand for the dong and further support its application. You think? That's why I'm telling you, I gotta pay attention to it. Number four, this action with Vietnam is going to be a domestic policy and economic growth. Vietnam Central Bank, the State Bank of Vietnam (SBV), has implemented measures to stabilize the currency. Really? Well, if you stabilize it, now it has a chance to move up. Son of a gun, including adjusting interest rates. Oh, this is getting ridiculous. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So number four, could include stabilizing the currency, including adjusting its interest rate and maintaining foreign currency reserves, which would affect its currency value. Vietnam, fast-growing economy fueled by manufacturing exports and foreign direct investments, could attract further investments and bolster the dong's value. Of course, it could. In fact, of course, it is doing that. Exactly, the mirror image in Iraq is what's happening in Vietnam. In con- in conclusion, although the agreement itself doesn't guarantee a stronger dong. The commitment to address currency concerns, coupled with efforts to reduce trade imbalance and Vietnam's ongoing economic growth, it does create a favorable environment for potential dong appreciation. Let me give credit. It says here Goldilocks. Isn't that another person that teaches on the internet?
Telegram room. A room.
In the Telegram room. Yeah. Is this the one that I-Team has told me about? Oh, it's another woman, isn't it? I-Team is impressed with. Anyways, so yeah. Thank you, I-Team, for sending this to me. While it doesn't guarantee that they're going to change the rate for the Vietnamese dong, we just gave you five things that tell you it's going to. I mean, I can't say guaranteed done, but I can tell you that this action, it's going to do these things we just told you. Anyways, am I done, Tink?
Text and pictures.
Text. Text.
My text, I think, and then
I think that was your text that I was concerned about. And as far as any other, oh, we have a bank story. Oh, shoot. Let me just call this man really quick. It won't take long, I promise you. Here it is. Okay, family, do you remember I told you there was a gentleman? I couldn't bring him on because people would know his voice, and I don't want to get him in trouble with his, with whatever. So he says, I can talk to you, Frank, if you want me to. I'll gladly help. I said, well, did you, by any chance, did you? I know your appointment is on the 11th, right? And he said, yeah, but guess what? I said, what? He called me yesterday. What? The JP Morgan guy that wants to meet with you personally? Yeah. The guy that says that he knows what you got? Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk to you. So yesterday I tried calling him while I had you with me, family, and he was not available at the time. So let's see if he answers this time. Are you there? Hey, buddy. They cannot hear you. Yeah, they cannot hear you. So hold on. Let me just go over this and you correct me along the way, okay? All righty. So what happened, family, is that this gentleman from J.P. Morgan, he calls my friend back, and it was yesterday, and he called you yesterday. Wait a minute, he called you twice this week. Well, wait a minute. What did he want Monday? Oh, okay, that's the 11th, right? The 11th. So June the 14th at 1 p.m. is your appointment. What is the 11th? I'm so sorry, brother, because that was probably another bank story. I got so many. Okay, so this guy's got you set up on the 14th, but he set you up last week for the 14th, correct? Oh, so it was this Monday he called you. And you got the appointment, and this is with JP Morgan. And JP, this man, very, very honest. He said, yeah, we know about the dinar. We know you got dinars. Yeah. You want to talk about the dinar? And he said to you, I can't do this on the phone. I'd like to meet you in person. Is that right? Wow. Okay. Then, out of the blue, yesterday, Wednesday, he called you back. What did he want? He sent you. He sent you other emails. Hold on, I got to repeat what you're saying. He sent you two other emails. One was to confirm two more emails. One was to confirm the 14th. What was the other one? That must have been long. So he sent you all the basically the securities and laws, security information of what they'll do, how they'll take care of you, the whole process. Okay, so that came into an email, and yesterday he called you for what reason? You already talked to him on Monday. Okay, stop, because there's so much you're telling me. So this guy calls you Monday and you set the appointment for the 14th. Then he calls you yesterday and he says to you, I'm sending you an email and you're going to get a lot of information on how we're going to take care of you. La, 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 la. You got it. And in that conversation, he also said to you, uh, I'm just calling because I just want to make sure that we are covering all bases. We've answered all your questions. We are going to meet on the 14th. La, 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 la. He just wanted to double check. Yeah. Okay. There's more. You, His direct number and his personal cell phone? Can you do a three-way call with him and me? Don't let. Would you like? Could you do that? Look, look. No, no, no. Okay. Yeah, I know, I know, I know. I'm pushing it. Do this. Do this. Go to the meeting. Go to the meeting. Talk to him. See what he's got to say. While you're talking to him, tell him, could I introduce you to someone that might be, you see, this guy has a lot of people that I don't know if you want his business, but I think this would be good information for him to hear and to learn and to have it. Since we're so close, and he'll keep his mouth shut. I promise you. Okay. uh, I'll send. And that's what I want. We're going to talk to him on his cell phone and try to make it later in the day, like anytime after 7 or 8 o'clock, because they're not going to be listening at that time. Okay. All righty. I am so excited for you. I'm already excited. I'm in the. He told you about his past. He went from banking to what? A broker for Edward Jones. Last few years, J.P. Morgan. Well, this is fantastic. You got yourself, like I call, a golden nugget. Every now and then this happens. Everyone knows it's happening, and every now and then you find someone. You are so blessed because he knows. He doesn't even want to meet you at the bank, does he? Yeah. Hey, where are you meeting on the 14th? Really? Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. So mum's the word. You get back with me and let me know, especially if he calls again, okay? It sounds to me like he's really anxious. God, well, God bless you. I'll talk to you again. Bye bye now. Bye bye. Well, there you go, family. Now, yesterday, when we brought you that gentleman that heard what Trump said at 3 o'clock in the morning, there was a handful of you that demanded that I prove it. Really? Pick a finger. Because I don't owe you anything. I already showed you what I got. I already told you to take it to God in prayer. That's above me, isn't it? In fact, guess what? You're a member of KTFalways.com, right? We had people in there that were saying, I saw it. Yeah, I know you saw it. In fact, I took a picture of one of them that had a full, long testimony. And I was going to read it here, but you know what? I'm done. This person was explaining how they saw it at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they too were confused. And then they heard our broadcast yesterday, and the lights just lit up. It's true. Alrighty, I'm done. Let's now say goodbye. So, for those of you that are in the Iraqi dinar, thank you kindly for being with us. God bless you. For those of you that stick around for 5 minutes and watch a little bit of Aloha, I'd like to tell you that, hey, Leo, are you okay to sit by my side, or you rather not?
No.
No, you don't want to? It doesn't matter. I say goodbye. I just want them to see my Hawaiian friend. Now, if you don't like it, then no worries. You like? You're my brother, man. Get over here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my brother Leo. Shaka. Leo's not going to say much of anything, but I'm going to tell you that I've known Leo for about 35, almost 40 years. His family and my family, we're family. This is his little home here. In the back, you see these mountains. This is the Waianae mountain range. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of love. There's not a lot of aloha, except among the Hawaiians. They love each other. They take care of each other. But there's not much love from the state because they're Democrats. They don't do anything for the people up here in Waianae. Nothing. The roads are bad. The hospital's stupid. The groceries, you lucky you get. And on top of that, when it gets too hot, the whole freaking place catches on fire. You gotta run, bro.
Yeah.
We run. You run that way. I run this way. Okay. Hey, where are you gonna go? Who cares? We're on an island. We'll meet you on the other side.
Anything in the water.
Meet you in the water, right? Right. Like Lahaina. That was so sad. What happened in Lahaina? You know, bro. Did you hear that up in the Big Island, they're bringing down one of the telescopes?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Aina is being respected. Malama, Malama the Aina. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is my dear brother Leo, and he's about as Hawaiian as you can get. We come here and we're going to spend the rest of the day with them. We brought Ono grinds, bro. Ono grinds. We're going to have a good time. I brought sushi. I brought all kind cow. Good stuff. We get tuna, poke, taro. I got some taro. What is it, Jan? Taro mochi. Taro mochi. We get all kinds of good stuff. So let's say goodbye to my friends, okay?
Aloha.
Aloha is right. I love you, KTFA family, in the same way that I love my friend Leo. God bless you all. Love each other, respect each other, call each other, visit each other, be there for each other,
Help one another.
help one another. That's half the battle. I love you, brother. Sweet aloha. Bye bye.